My body's composition is determined by my genes. Hey, eyes up here.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
Too woke, because those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird. Like fascist weird. Like Nazi propaganda weird.
This is peak liberal insanity right here. A beautiful white woman doing a commercial for jeans is somehow Nazi propaganda because she mentioned genetics. This fat activist is so triggered by beauty standards that she's literally comparing a clothing ad to fascism. She knows Sydney Sweeney is objectively beautiful, but instead of accepting that some people won genetic lottery, she has to make it about race and politics. This is what happens when your entire worldview is built on resentment toward people who are more attractive than you. She can't just admit she's jealous, so she turns basic genetics into a hate crime.
My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this? Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes. I also am thinking about like all of the young girls who are doing their back to school shopping right now at places like American Eagle who are seeing ads like this. Yikes. Also, American Eagle is mostly a brand that like teenagers to like young adults shop at, and so the fact that like this type of advertising is being used that feels so for the male gaze and so over sexualized, like I just don't like it.
Translation: how dare companies use attractive women to sell products to straight men? This woman is literally upset that advertising works. She's mad that companies figured out that showing beautiful women sells more products than showing fat, ugly activists like herself. The male gaze complaint is just feminist code for men shouldn't be allowed to find women attractive. These women spent decades pushing body positivity and fat acceptance, and now they're shocked that nobody wants to buy products from companies that use obese models. The market has spoken, and it chose beauty over ideology.
Mention the fact that this entire ad campaign that Sydney Sweeney is doing right now is incredibly reminiscent to the Brooke Shields Calvin Klein jeans ad campaign that she did when she was 14 years old. That was extremely over-sexualized and weird. Yeah. Why are we referencing that? Why are we referencing that? I thought we agreed that that was weird that they had her do that. So we got a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman talking about her good genes in an ad campaign that is a reference to a 14-year-old Brooke Shields Calvin Klein's ad campaign that we've all agreed was really weird and predatory.
Totally just talking about denim, right? Just a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman explaining how her good genes gave her personality and purity. I mean, are we really going to pretend that this isn't a little fashy-coded? Look, I'm not saying that Sydney Sweeney personally wrote this ad to revive the Third Reich, but American Eagle absolutely knew what they were doing here. You don't get to drop lines about inherited traits, blue eyes, and great genes while zooming in on somebody that could have walked straight off of a Nazi propaganda poster and expect people not to catch that reference.
This is what happens when your brain is completely poisoned by liberal ideology. This woman sees a blonde woman with blue eyes and immediately thinks Nazi. She's so programmed to hate white beauty standards that she can't even process a simple jeans commercial without making it about some woke bullshit. The irony is that she's the one bringing up race and eugenics. Sydney Sweeney is just selling pants. But because she fits traditional beauty standards and happens to be white, suddenly it's fascist propaganda. This is the level of mental illness we're dealing with in modern feminism.
We are watching fascist aesthetics sneak back into pop culture through fashion ads, trad wife influencers, and yes, now blue jeans. If you think this was an innocent ad, you have not been paying attention.
What you just witnessed is the complete meltdown of the liberal establishment as society returns to normal beauty standards. For years, these activists have been force-feeding us fat acceptance, diversity casting, and anti-beauty propaganda. They convinced themselves that they had permanently changed what people find attractive, that they had successfully shamed society into pretending that obesity was healthy and that traditional beauty was problematic. But the market doesn't lie. American Eagle's stock went up after this campaign because normal people are starved for actual beauty in advertising. We're tired of being lectured by obese activists about body positivity while being forced to look at plus-size models in underwear ads. We're done with the psychological terrorism of being told that finding beautiful women attractive makes us fascists. The Sydney Sweeney backlash perfectly illustrates everything wrong with modern feminism. These women can't compete with actual beauty, so they try to tear it down by calling it problematic. They can't accept that some people are more attractive than others because it reminds them of their own genetic failures. So they turn everything into a political issue to avoid confronting the reality that they lost the genetic lottery. The Nazi comparisons are particularly revealing because they show how desperate these women are to find something, anything, wrong with traditional beauty. A blonde woman with blue eyes talking about genetics in a jeans commercial becomes fascist propaganda in their twisted minds. They're so threatened by conventional attractiveness that they have to invoke something, anything to justify their hatred. But here's what's really happening: the tide is turning. Companies are realizing that woke advertising doesn't sell products. Men are refusing to buy from brands that insult their preferences. Normal people are rejecting the psychological manipulation of being told they're bigots for finding attractive people attractive. Sydney Sweeney represents everything these activists hate. She's young, beautiful, feminine, and unapologetically attractive to straight men. She doesn't need to lecture anyone about body positivity or male toxicity. She doesn't have to compensate for her looks with political activism. She just exists as a beautiful woman, and that drives them absolutely insane. The best part is watching these women reveal their own racism and prejudice while trying to call out supposed fascism. They see a white woman and immediately start talking about racial purity and Nazi propaganda. They're the ones making it about race. They're the ones who can't look at traditional European features. They've become so programmed to hate whiteness that they can't even process normal beauty without having a meltdown. This is bigger than just advertising, though. This is about the return of merit and aesthetics over ideology and activism. For too long, we've been told that competence and beauty don't matter, that everything should be about diversity and inclusion. But reality always wins in the end. Beautiful people will always be more successful in industries that depend on attractiveness. Competent people will always outperform diversity hires. And companies that embrace these truths will always outsell those that don't. The Sydney Sweeney controversy is just the beginning. As society continues to reject woke ideology, we're going to see more beautiful women in advertising, more competent people in important positions, and more normal standards returning to prominence. And every step of the way, these activists will scream fascism and Nazism because they can't compete on merit and they know their time is up.